Welcome back to the modules. And in this module, we're going to talk about getting clients for your online coaching business, which obviously is going to be super important to your success. And we've been through all kinds of different aspects to building this online coaching business. We've spoken about your niche, like where is your expertise? Where does that lie? Who do you want your target market to be? Because it's really important that you're super clear on that early on, so you know who to target, and then because you know who to target, then it's much easier to find out where they are. So certain, if you're dealing with sports people, they will hang out in sporting groups, or they will be, you could advertise at leisure centres, etc., etc. But if you don't know who you're trying to target, you're not going to be able to find them very easily. Brand's really important as well. And we've looked at the branding situation, about how you can build a good brand and a website as well, and a professional website, which is going to make you feel like you are in this as a business and it's not just a hobby that you're trying to do. And social media profiles are super important as well, because you can use your website address on your social media profiles. You can consistently post and start to build rapport and relationships, and especially in the places where your clients are, which again refers back to knowing what your niche is, who your clients are, etc., etc. So it's really important when you are starting out that you find your own voice. So don't try and mimic somebody else or try and be like another coach that you've seen. You want to really be authentically yourself, because then it's so much easier when you're doing coaching, because you're not trying to pretend. And it's easier to pretend through a website, but then when you actually meet people, they'll be disappointed. So it's a bit like when you see people's social media profiles and then you meet them in real life and they don't look anything like them. So then there's that kind of disconnect, and you're a bit sort of thrown off because you think, oh, I thought I knew you through your profile, but you don't look anything like your profile. And it's really important, and it's a big part of it, is that you don't worry too much about what other people think. So not everybody is going to like you, and that's okay, because if people don't like you, they're not your people. And there will be other people who do like you and who do resonate. And so the more you speak from the heart, the more that you speak about the things that are important to you and you share your values, the more likely it is that your words and the things you are sharing are going to resonate with people who would be your ideal clients, because that's what we want to be doing. We want to be working with our ideal clients. We don't want to work with people where it feels really heavy and we're not enjoying it, and it's just like, oh no, another session, and they're emailing in between and all of those things. We don't want those things coming through. So the more authentic you are, the more chance you have of connecting with people who are on your wavelengths. Now, one of the first things that I did, and I didn't realize it at the time, but looking back, I realized, and this is a great way to get started without having to put lots of money into it, but is raising your profile through sharing on social media. So sharing about what you're up to, what you believe in, what your values are, talk about things in the space. So if I was doing it, I could be talking about community building and how I think it's going to be the core of all businesses in the future. I've been sharing that for years and years, and I've said that thousands of times. And so people have got to know me as the community expert, the membership sites expert, all of those things. And that's because I've consistently shown up and shared value over a number of years. So it's always a good idea to highlight your expertise, highlight things that you're doing. If you are, so for example, I've been for the last 3 years a business book judges award, I've been a judge for the Business Book Awards. And so I've shared that on my social media profiles, and it raises awareness of me. It raises awareness of what I'm up to, and it puts me in the right room with lots of amazing other entrepreneurs and business owners. So if you have been asked to judge anything, or you have won awards, or you have completed certifications, make sure you share it, because if you don't share it, people aren't going to know about it. And as much as it seems a big thing to you in your world, people are busy, and unless you share what you're up to, nobody else is going to see it. Now, if you decide to write a book, it's an amazing way to market yourself without even being there. So it will make you stand out from the crowd because not everybody has a book. And it's an ability, it's a way for you to showcase your expertise and your business. And pretty much like it's like the new business card. So it's doing a job for you without you even being there. And it's sharing your best thoughts in paperback or in Kindle or however you choose, or even Audible. So it's a really, really good marketing tool. And I wrote a book in 2013, and I know that it's on people's shelves now. And, you know, things have changed since then. I've learnt more stuff. It's probably out of date now, but I feel proud that I actually did it, because if you don't set yourself these goals and these tasks, you probably won't ever achieve them. So if you're going to write a book and become an author, I got a book coach. So I've had 2 book coaches. So it's really important that you invest in yourself. So you create something that's worth sharing. It's really good nowadays as well because you can self-publish and it's a really quick route to market. And then you can distribute via Amazon Kindle, and you could use it as a download on your website, like we've been talking about. You could have, the first chapter of your book, or you could share more chapters from your book. So it's very versatile, and it can help you connect with people who may be reading your stuff outside of browsing, or maybe on the train or something. So if you don't want to print it, you can start with a digital copy and then print at a later date. But the more you condense your thoughts and put them down on paper, the more they crystallize. So it's really good in terms of crystallizing what your coaching is about, what you believe in. So yeah, I'd highly recommend doing that. Another thing you can do to raise your profile is guest posting. So this is about going on somebody else's website who has a blog, find somebody in the same niche as you, and you can write a high quality article about something in your niche. And often people are looking for more content for their website. Sometimes you can pay to be a guest poster, but otherwise you might be able to connect with people in your network and share and, collaborate. Maybe you can share their work with your network. So, and always include a link back to your website if you're doing guest posting or guest blogging, so you can start driving traffic, because you need to be driving traffic to get clients. So people need to see you either on social media, they need to be going back to your website, understanding how they can book with you, all of those kind of things. So think about those things when you are writing posts, and just seed things. So by seeding, I mean that if you're writing a blog post, you might say, typically when I'm working with clients, I do X, Y, and Z. And you're not actually saying, come and work with me, but people know that you're open to clients just because you've written it down and sort of seeded it in their mind. It sort of starts a seed growing, and they're thinking, oh, this would be interesting. I might like to work with them. So email marketing is an important way to grow relationships, to grow your audience, and potentially get more clients for your coaching business. So are you growing your list? Do you have an opt-in on your website that we've spoken about? Are you communicating with your list on a regular basis? Are you sending them emails? Are you talking to them? What value are you sharing with them? Are you giving them something really good, or are you just asking for a sale? Because if you're just asking for a sale, it's not going to result in a great relationship. So remember, it's not a time for a sales pitch. It's a time to build relationships. So if you do have people's emails and you can communicate with them, do communicate with them and build that rapport before you need it. Because if you build community and you build relationships before you need them, when you do need them, or if you want to put out your coaching, people will be ready and willing to accept that. Whereas if you go out asking straight away from the start, they're going to be a little bit more reticent to invest in you. So we've spoken about this before, but creating videos. So share your story via video clips. You might have created something for your website, like I said in the last module. And if you have that, can you get it, shortened, or can you have it edited into little bite-sized clips for social media? So you could create a series of videos showing you how to achieve something relevant in your niche. So that's a really good idea. And like I say, seed your videos with insights into your work. So you don't need to just sell from them, but just seed it, like I said just now. So, YouTube is the second biggest search engine after Google. And you could just easily start a YouTube channel. Now, when you start, if you know the guy, Gary Vaynerchuk, massive business guy, entrepreneur, he started off a wine channel years ago. And if you ever see any of his stuff, he'll say how he started out and nobody ever looked at his stuff. And eventually people started sort of communicating and, his following's grown and now he's super successful. So even though you might have nobody watching to start with, it's a really good thing to get going with. So then you can drive targeted visitors to your website. So you can set up your own channel. You need to properly optimize your videos. So you need to have the title and the description and keywords and your tags. So they're all really important things to have. And you could add a link to your website as well. So think about starting a YouTube channel as another way to drive clients to your business. Now, another thing you could think about setting up would be a webinar. So a webinar is an online presentation to a number of people. So like I was saying, I do the Saturday School webinar, and that goes out. I think the first time I did it, it went out to 190 people who were around the world. So that's me sharing slides, talking about a topic area, and it's a really good way to reach an audience. Now, in that case, the Saturday School one was set up by Simon Coulson from the Internet Business School. So he has a really large email list. So by partnering with somebody else, you can get that reach even if you haven't got a massive email list yourself. So Simon's been in internet marketing for 15 to 20 years and he has tens of thousands of people on his list. So that's a good way to get going. But think about when you do a webinar, like what problem can you solve for your audience? Because you need to solve a problem and lead with loads of value. You can make an offer at the end. Maybe you want to set up a call at the end or a smaller, more intimate connection. So maybe you do a group Zoom for people who have got some questions. And then hopefully it will lead on to bigger things and people will come and want to work with you. Now, once you're getting a bit more into this and you've got the website set up and you're using social media regularly, you can use social media ads. So they're cheaper than using, say, Google pay-per-click ads. And the good thing about them, especially say you're using Facebook or Instagram, they can be super targeted. So they can drive leads to your website. And say you were doing, if you've got a particular niche. So, for example, say people who are selling wedding dresses and they can target people who are newly engaged through Facebook or females between certain ages, whatever it is they want to sell. So if you think about your online coaching, if you want to target executives or who work in the city, you can target them because you can target location, you can target age, you can target sex, all of these things. So social media ads can be a really great way to get really good leads for your business. And I just want you to remember as well, when you're doing all this and when you're building up your social media presence, that it's really important to remember about keywords. So keywords are those words that people type into their Google or whatever search engine they're using, and it will come up. So when I was doing the research and I found that online coach who I shared with you in one of the earlier modules, I put in online fitness coach and it came up with him right at the top. So if someone's looking for something, you want your name to come up. And again, this is an intense amount of training you can do around keywords, and this is just one slide. But a good place to start is something like Google Keyword Planner. That's attached to the Google Ads platform. It's free to get started with it. And you can have a look at what kinds of keywords people are searching for in your niche. You can use that tool I told you about as well previously. Remember, answerthepublic.com. Again, you can put in your topic areas and find out what people are asking around that topic area. So use that. And SEMrush is another one you can use, which is another tool which will show you what people are searching for and what those search volumes are as well. Because if 5 people are searching, it's not going to be much traffic, is it? So you need to know, it's generally, you want to be looking at between 10,000 to 40,000 searches just to get a good amount of people searching for it. So there's some ideas about how you can get clients. And there's lots and lots of work you can do around here. But what I want you to think about is not getting too overwhelmed. So all you're looking for is one client to start off with, and then a second client and a third one. So start with finding one person who you can consult with for free, and then 2 people, get a testimonial or give you a little bit of confidence, and then you can go on to the next one and the next one. So action is more important. Like, rather than just listening, just take some action. See if you can get someone today. Send a message now, pause the video, send a message to someone now and say, I'm now starting coaching on X. I'd love to give you a free session. Would you be willing to do it? And, for some feedback, and get going. So with that said, I will see you on the next module. Bye.